you mentioned the goaltending. That reminds me, last month, we've been kind of doing this every month moving forward. Josh picked Jari as kind of his month MVP for the month of October. So I guess
Yeah.
we're already at December 3rd, right? We're in the month of December. I have my Christmas tree up behind me. But when you look back at November, I mean, is there a guy that stood out to you as far as MVP goes? I mean, Sidney Crosby is kind of an obvious one, but maybe somebody
Yeah.
else that has stood out to you. I said Ryan Shea last month, who had
Very
an
good.
outstanding,
Is,
going.
is Crosby
Oh
out of
yeah,
the
go ahead.
equation? No? Are we
Well,
taking Crosby out of
he has
the
to be out of the equation. You go ahead, Jay, if you want to talk about Sid
Totally
a little
agree.
more.
No, we have to take him out. I'm with you. I'm gonna say, with you going with Ryan Shea, I'm gonna say Wotherspoon. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
I think the addition. I think what
So
he
it's
has
funny you
brought
say
to the
that.
lineup.
Ryan Shea was my pick last month, but I was going to say Wotherspoon for this month. So let's hear it. Talk him up.
Okay. I think what he has brought to the table, he's there's a little edge to his game, and it's coming out more and more as the season goes on. He's a perfect deep partner for Erik Karlsson. They feed off each other. Uh, he knows Karlsson's going to be up in the play. He covers up for him perfectly. I don't know. I just think the addition of him is basically solidified. It helps solidify their deep pairings. And you can have Shea with Letang and your top four. That's why their numbers are where they're at. They've played very well together, and I think Wotherspoon has been a huge part of that.
Yeah. When you take a look at deep pairs, I was just looking who have played at least 200 minutes of ice time, 5-on-5 together. So basically, the guys who
Yeah,
have been together most of the season, they're seventh in the league right now as far as goals
yeah.
against per 60 minutes. So they've definitely been solid together. And I was talking to Parker, he was telling me that Erik is such a good communicator, and that's a big part of why he's been able to just know exactly what Erik is going to do. So I think that's a huge part of that. But he also told me that he actually feels like he's watching and learning more from Parker as well to be able to bring a little bit, not a lot. He's still got to be that D guy, but a little bit more offense to his game as well. He's got 4 points in his last 3 games or so now. With that, just how beneficial do you think it can be for Wotherspoon being able to watch and play with Erik every night to kind of learn things from him?
Well, I think first of all you got to know your limitations, right? You got to know what's your game, what's the height of your game,
Yeah.
and how you can grow it. But that doesn't, because Erik Karlsson is at a different level with his offensive, what he does from the red line in, right? He just from the red line in attacking, he's at a different level from most players. But if you get to see how he handles it, how he walks the line, his thought process, for me, I think you grow just from that, right? But I think
Yeah.
Wotherspoon understands his game. But we watched that feed he made to Kevin Hayes the other night for the breakaway late in the Philly game. That's just look. That's a great play. He turns the net up ice. You hear the communication to make the tape to tape pass the way he did. I think you grow from it. And when I make the comment about know your limitations, that's not slating. That means every player. Like what is my bread and butter, but what can I add to my game and keep working on it? I think when you see a player like Letang, when you see a player like Karlsson, and what they do, as I said, there's a select group of players that are able to do certain things, elite echelon. Well, we're blessed when you have two of them on the right side, and Carlson's game has been outstanding this year, right? So I think
Yeah.
you learn from it, you understand it, and you know where you need to draw the line with it too, though. But I think you always want to grow up. And I think he knows what his job is and what he's about as a player, and he's been outstanding. Great first pass, tough to play against, works phenomenal with Karlsson. There you
Mhm.
go. He's earning his money each and every night just by what he's doing as a top pair.
So with that, my November MVP pick, that's going to be Erik Karlsson for me. You just mentioned how great they've been as a defensive pair. Really the first 2 months, I would say, for Erik Karlsson. But what is working so well with Carl right now, Jay? Why was he maybe a little bit struggling a little bit last season, but now it just seems like there's no hesitancy. He seems more comfortable out there.
Yeah, I think. Look, you know what, Haley. Looking at how they're playing the game, I think when there's a player that goes public with comments about like, hey, finally a coach realizes I can kill penalties, or you know, I'm more freed up to play the game. There was not. It was a disconnect between Erik Karlsson and the coaching staff, the prior coaching staff, and
Yeah.
here's the guy that's taking full advantage of a new voice, a different mindset, and they're letting him flourish and do what he's been great defensively. I mean, his skating ability helps him recover extremely fast. To me, I think I just think it's that, Haley. I think that he's freed up playing the game under Dan Muse, and the way he's talked about it, he wasn't freed up playing under the Mike Sullivan system, and it was stymieing him. It was stifling his game. And then when you're in between on anything, right? Even your golf swing or putts, if you're in between on any part of an athletic move, you're in trouble. It's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
And I think he was in between, and now he's carefree. He's playing the game at the level that he expects of himself and what everybody expects from him. And I also think being in that Four Nations tournament, against the best again, and with the Olympics coming up, I think all those things are pluses too. They all, the great players all want to be a part of it. Truly want to be a part of it.
I think carefree Erik Karlsson and having fun out there is what makes him at its best. I know sometimes people say, "Oh, he's so relaxed. He's so carefree." But I just think, and people would often say with Marc-Andre Fleury, with being kind of a jokester. I forget who said this, but somebody mentioned that was kind of his way of relieving the pressure and the stress to get ready for a game. And for me, I think Erik Karlsson, just being around him, I think that carefree kind of fun personality that you see from him, I think that's part of him handling the pressure, because he really is a competitive guy and he really does want to win. So, that's my pick, and hopefully he'll keep it up in December today. Well, our weekly look back.
I agree with your comment there, Haley. I agree with that totally about you need something to take the pressure, in any way you can. I totally agree with that. It's a great point.
Yeah. Now, on the golf course, I would always be the most talkative one out there. I would always talk as I was walking up to every shot with my playing partners. And everybody's always like, "Haley's so social. Like, then she plays so well. I don't understand." It's like, well, yeah, because that was my way of not thinking too much about the game or the shot, if you will. So I do think you see that with some athletes sometimes, kind of an interesting angle.